to start off, I want to ask you to describe your music, your fashion, and yourself, each in 3 words.
Let's see. Should we do it again?
That's okay.
Okay. Let's see. I've never even thought about this. My music, can it be like what I would like it to be?
Whatever you want.
Okay, well, like, let's see. Right now, I wanna say rock. I want to say rock and roll. I'm gonna squeeze that together as one word. Retro and pop, I guess. It just covers a lot of ground. It's just under one big umbrella of pop music. Alright, well, this is Mark. He's playing drums in Starship.
Oh, hello.
Sorry. Gosh!
Now, what about your fashion and yourself?
Let's see. I love vintage clothing. Everything that I find is usually culled from some secondhand thrift store or some, I don't know, like Salvation Army or anything I find that has just really unique clothes. And I like interesting prints and patterns. I like shiny things.
No, that was my phone. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Okay, good.
I like vintage stuff. I love shoulder pads. So I think if I could have 3 words to describe my style, would be vintage, sequins, and shoulder pads.
Yes.
Yes.
What about yourself?
3 words to describe myself?
That's the toughest one.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let's see. Like as a person or
anything. Period.
Gosh.
Just like the 3 first words that pop into your head.
Okay. Musician. Is it? Oh, God damn it! It's so hard. Unless brevity really is the soul of wit. Okay, I'm gonna like cheat a little bit here. I'm gonna go musician, food enthusiast, and an alien fighter.
We'll just pretend I said 3 terms,
yes.
not 3 words. Right. Out of all of the songs that you've ever written, which one's your favorite?
Oh gosh, I can't answer that question because it's like when someone asks you, they're all like my kids in a way, you know, and you birth each of them, and each of them comes from a different point in your life, and they're like, and it's like choosing which one of your kids, it's like choosing among your children. It's like this one, maybe they all have different characteristics, and you like them all for different reasons, and maybe this one has freckles, and this one is a little taller, but this one is the star of the soccer team, and this one gets straight A's but isn't that good at sports. So there are a lot of different qualities involved in the selection process.
So how did the Space Tour come about?
Well, I went to University of Michigan. Should I be looking at you or
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever.
You did me, no matter.
Well, I went to University of Michigan with all those guys, and so I knew them when I was in college, and I met most of them through Darren, just through like open mics and like the productions that he was in, and I always thought they were superbly talented, but never really got to know any of them, especially to the great extent that I'm getting to know them now. And yeah, I just got a phone call from Dylan asking if I would be interested in playing guitar for the backup band and opening for them for this set. And I was in the middle of recording an album, which I'm still working on. I'll complete when I get back to New York. But yeah, the whole thing got shifted back, and I was like, of course I'll do this. I would be foolish not to. This would be the opportunity of a lifetime. And so I learned 22 songs in like 2 weeks and hopped on this huge tour bus, and now we're traipsing the country and having a grand old time, and it's been really, really great.
Sounds like fun. What's one thing you're doing now that you didn't imagine yourself doing 5 years ago?
Talking to Joe Walker about his belly button lit every day. Yes.
Interesting answer.
No, but for serious, I mean, like everything, things just things just kind of unfold in really unexpected ways, and I've always done the same thing, and I've always made music for myself and whoever would be interested in listening, and it just, and what I've been doing hasn't really changed at all. I've always loved performing and writing and recording, and just repeating that holy trinity of activity over and over again, because that's what feeds me. But it's just, I honestly believe that if you are passionate about something and you work really, really hard and you're kind, then amazing things will happen. And that's something that I've heard Conan O'Brien say, and I definitely live by that, and believe it and see it to happen in many people, many really talented, genuine, hardworking people.
Now, you raised funds for your new album on Kickstarter. How did that idea come about, and did you expect to fundraise that much money?
I had no idea what the outcome of that was going to be. I did it because a bunch of my musician friends had used this website as a means to fund their own projects, and whether that be their album or films of theirs, or like other artistic endeavors. And it's just a really wonderful resource for independent musicians to go to. And the whole like crowdfunding thing, I think, has kind of caught on in the past few years, because the music industry is in such a state of flux that who are we going to turn to keep our careers going, except for our fans and the people that believe in us and want us to keep doing what we're doing. And so I think it's taken off for a lot of people, and it was definitely, it really was, it was essential in the creation of the album that I'm making right now. And I'm so grateful for everybody that wanted to support the project, and all the tweets and letters and emails that I got saying how excited they were for this new installment to happen. And people, it was insane, because people were tweeting me saying that they got part-time jobs to donate money. They were like getting babysitting gigs. They were like holding junk sales in their backyard. And I really like this group of people that I've tapped into through StarKid are just, and the fans that I've met at the shows have been some of the most generous, life-loving, music-loving, and art-loving people that I've met. And so I'm so grateful to have been thrown into this community and this wonderful pool of people who are excited to see new art being made, and to see friends keep continuing to help each other out and support each other.
Now, what can we expect from your new album?
The new album is going to be, I don't want to give away too much. It's going to be audible. It's going to be something that you can hopefully dance to and relate to on some level. And it's going to be very different than anything that I've ever made before. And I'm very excited about it. My good friend Tomek Miernowski is going to be playing bass with me at the show tonight, and he's producing the album and playing guitars and bass and piano and organ and a bunch of other instruments on it. And he's just one of the most monstrously talented musicians and humans I've ever come across, and I'm just honored to be able to work with him and have his guidance and insight on the process. And he's been my Yoda in this situation, and I'm just so excited for the world to hear what we've been working on. And my drummer Dave has been pretty instrumental, pun intended, in kind of making this happen too. And he's got his own really unique flavor and taste in music. He's got a really like unique and edgy personality to his own music, and to have him kind of act as co-producer on my music has given it its own unique flair. And he's very much he's an incredible drum programmer and synthesizer builder, and he's a lot of the sounds that you hear on stage tonight are samples that he and I made together, but mostly from his ideas and his own tastes and background. So, not to mention he's just a stellar drummer. And then Megan, who is I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but this is all related to the album, which is what you asked me about. Megan, my keyboard player, is just a triple threat in every sense of the word. She can sing, she plays violin, she plays keys for me, and just is my right hand woman in every sense of the word. And she'll be able to, and you'll hear her presence very strongly on the record as well. So the four of us have become super close throughout the process, and it's gonna be it's gonna be more of a band effort and more of a team effort, this record, than any of my past work has been. Because my first album was very, I feel like even though I'm very proud of it, I hear my young self in it, and it's almost like, it's like a school portrait that you see, and even though you're like, okay, well, I wasn't hideous or anything, you just kind of feel, you see your youth, and it makes you cringe just a little bit. Those songs are very, very dear to my heart, and I can listen to them and see exactly where I was at that point. And I'm grateful for all the fans who've come up to me and told me that it's made a difference in their lives and helped them get through whatever they're getting through. So I guess it's just all about a portrait of somebody and traveling through time, and it's not so much that they're diary entries of my life, but they're definitely interpretations of the experiences that I've had since then. And I think texturally you'll find a lot of different sounds than we've heard in the past in terms of instrumentation. Like it's good. They're going to be, we're experimenting with synthesizers a little bit, and like drum programming, and Tomek's guitar work is just going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's incredible, so I'm excited about that.
I'm excited too.
Thanks.
Do you have any idea when it's going to come out approximately?
We're releasing it, we're aiming for March. We're finishing it up in December as soon as we get back from the tour, and then just doing all the necessary like pruning and trimming and getting it ready for duplication and all that stuff, and hopefully it'll be in everybody's hands by March.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Now this question is kind of, I'm pretty sure you've never gotten this before.
Okay.
Finish this sentence. If I were a cookie.
If I were a cookie?
Yeah, finish that sentence.
If I were a cookie, I would eat me. And that I can attribute to Jamie Lynn Beatty, who just walked in the door over there.
Oh, missed her.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing.
What is it?
It's something that one of the girls that I worked with started, and now I ask it every time because you get the strangest answers, and it's so much fun. That's not the first time I've heard if I would eat me.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
a lot of the fans from your street team actually,
Okay.
and Darren's street team, and Twitter and Tumblr and like everywhere have sent in a bunch of questions that they want me to ask you.
Oh, bro. Oh, boy.
It's good questions,
Open the
though.
snake pit.
No, actually, they like wrote the interview for me because they asked
Oh.
everything I would have asked. So.
Great.
Right. The first one, I didn't write down the name, so I'm sorry, guys. What are your plans for touring this year, if anything, after the space tour?
After the space tour, I'm going to be doing some dates in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey when I get back, and with my good friend Bess Rogers, who's also a really talented singer-songwriter. And then after that, I think I'm probably just going to be doing local shows until the album comes out, and then at that point I want to be on the road a lot.
You should
and
come
just
back to
visit.
Florida.
I would love to. I want to visit everywhere that I've been on the space tour because people have been so kind and welcoming, and I just can't wait to do it all again. This is what I love being on the road. I thrive on it. I love being around. I love waking up in a different city every day, and playing for a different house every night. This is what it's all about.
I've always wanted to go on tour. I want to be the person selling merch. That's like my life goal.
You know, you could do that.
What have you learned about your fellow busmates and yourself on this tour?
That there are a lot of fart jokes, and that I think 100% of the time, I'm hanging out with anybody, somebody has just come from. That doesn't make any sense. What else have I learned about my fellow busmates? Let's see. Everyone's extremely silly, extremely
We can hear
gross. Yeah, people extremely loud, which is great. Everyone's almost always singing or shouting, or that's the thing about going on tour. You know, it's like it's a constant rush of adrenaline, and you're always you go from being super energized and like super like intense sensory intake to like going down, like being on the bus and just going to the next city, and then it all starts again, and there are the lights and there are the people, and then it all kind of comes down again. So it's like a really, and I think that's what makes tour so exhausting, is because your nervous system just goes on a roller coaster every day, and that's why, and it's addicting, you know. This is why people want to do this, and I'm totally in that right now. But yeah, I haven't been missing my personal space too much, surprisingly.
That's good.
It's been really fun. That's all I can say.
What are your biggest influences for writing music?
Let's see. Everything. I listen to music constantly, and I whether it be like a beat that I like, or a certain, like a bass line, or guitar tone, or something, like I'm always listening to different elements that resonate with me, and I try to make mental notes of that and combine them into my own thing. And I think that's the beautiful thing about music, is that there's so many different colors that you can take from so many different styles, and just mix it into your own thing, and just absorb everything and just squeeze it out into your own personal work, whether of experience, and the people that you meet, and the places you go, and the food that you eat, and the culture that you absorb, and everything is it's like input and then output. And I think not only music, but all those things that I just mentioned are fair game for inspiring me.
Now, someone sent me this question actually, like, as soon as I found out that I was interviewing you today, and I've been waiting to ask because it's a really good question.
Okay.
They said, I noticed most of her songs are about heartbreak. How does she find the strength to write them and sing about them?
Well, it's catharsis in a way, because you take an experience and you process it, and in a way it's a healing. It's a mode of healing. You know, it's not a mode of opening the wound. It doesn't have to be opening the wound again, and it can be a reflection of an experience and something that you've learned without having to and yes, that does like dictate experiencing that emotion all over again, but it also feels good, because when you're detached enough from that experience to be able to appreciate what you've learned, and kind of like take the nostalgia for what it is, then you can sing about it, and you can talk about it, and you can share your experience with other people, and that's another great thing about music, is that everybody has been through that to some degree, and everybody is hurt, and everybody has experienced loss, and from the heartache of your own losing somebody, you experience a whole new way of sharing with somebody else, and of healing, and of helping somebody else kind of process what they're going through, even though it may be so removed from your own experience, somebody that you don't know at all who has been through the same thing. And I think music is important because it does help heal people, and it helps it helps connect people, and it helps you know that you're not alone, and that everybody's been through to some extent what you've been through.
So, kind of along the same topic, what are some of the songs that you listen to when you're feeling really down and you just want to kind of like cheer up and lift yourself up again?
Let's see. There's this great band called Congos, and we toured with them a little bit over the West Coast over the summer. And they're this great rock band from Arizona. They're Ford brothers, and they're all from South Africa, but grew up in Phoenix. I went to high school with some of them, and they're all just sick multi-instrumentalists, and they all sing. They have accordion, and they have samples, and they've got keyboards and guitars. The lead singer plays bass, and then the drummer also has a sampling pad that he uses to trigger sounds and stuff, and it's just some of the most inventive, energetic, like cathartic music I've ever heard. And I'm a huge fan of theirs, and I hope that they get the recognition that they deserve over the next period of time.
Maybe my viewers will check them out.
Yes, check it out. Kongos.
I will.
Amazing. Yes.
They sound good.
Yeah, they're great.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Valentina.
I was really excited to be here. It's kind of surreal just like sitting here and everything.
Good. I'm so glad.
I'm looking forward to the show.
Good. I'm looking forward to the show too.
And before we found out about this show, we were planning on going to North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's for my birthday too.
Cool.
So we'll be there on Saturday.